You'll find a lot of videos and articles of people criticizing watch brands like TAG Heuer, Zenith, and Ulysse Nardin. These brands were laughed at 5 years ago and forgotten. Now, they're impossible to ignore, and some of the biggest comebacks I've ever seen are happening. Whether you're new to the game or a seasoned collector, you should be watching these three watch brands right now. At 1, we have TAG Heuer, cultural it watch making a real comeback. And let's be honest, in the 90s and early 2000s, TAG Heuer was the watch. Ask anyone who grew up then what their first nice watch was. Odds are, it was a TAG. It had serious pop culture clout. Steve McQueen's Monaco cemented it as a vintage racing icon. Jordan Belfort wore a gold-plated Professional 1000 in Wolf of Wall Street. Because back then, a TAG was a flex. It was everywhere: birthdays, graduations, weddings, promotions. If you had one, it meant something. But over time, TAG lost its grip. They leaned into mass production, watered down their identity, and chased every segment at once. And the result? Confused design language, inconsistent quality, and too many forgettable models. One of the biggest hits to their credibility was outsourcing movements. For years, they relied on ETA and Solita, relabeling them as Calibre 5, Calibre 16, and so on. Some were ETA, some were Solita. You couldn't tell without opening the case pack. No unique finishing, no proprietary architecture, nothing that said this is TAG Heuer. And when you don't control what powers your own watch, you can't protect your brand. Fakes flooded the market: Carrera Calibre 5s, Formula 1 quartz, Aqua Racers, all easy to clone because the movements were either copied or visually identical to cheap generics. Even the warranty cards got confusing. Some were physical, others were digital, and activation processes occasionally stumbled. But lately, they've started cleaning things up. Primero Glassbox brought sharp design and serious movement architecture back. Monaco variants like the Golf and Night Driver Balance Retro are relevant. TAG's making its own movements again. The Heuer 2, the new TH20, with real horological credibility and harder to fake components. And the Formula 1 partnership, massive. They replaced Rolex as the official watch of F1. That's Rolex level positioning. They're not trying to be something they're not anymore. They're leaning back into what made them cool in the first place: motorsport, design, and cultural relevance. I tell all my clients looking for an entry-level skeleton that it's hard to beat TAG. For beginners, it's my favorite skeleton watch on the market. Moving on to, at number 2, we have Zenith, the brand that powered the Daytona and is now powering its own legacy forward. Let's start with what no one talks enough about. Zenith powered the Rolex Daytona for 12 straight years, from 1988 to 2000. That wasn't a partnership. That was Rolex admitting this is the best chronograph movement we can source, period. The El Primero was high frequency, automatic, and built like nothing else of its time. And today, they're still innovating. The El Primero 21 runs 2 escapements, one at 5 Hz for timekeeping and one at a ridiculous 50 Hz just for the chronograph. That's how they pull off the 1/100th of a second accuracy. Not just marketing, you can literally watch the chronograph hand fly around the dial once every second. It's alive, it's chaotic, it's awesome. During the mid-2010s, the brand had potential. Bulky cases, heavy bracelets, stiff leather. And their big pilot line, honestly, just ugly. Big round knobby watches that look like you'd wear them with aviation gloves on a blimp. Not for me. But then, they figured it out. Chronomaster Sport, the Defy Classic, and the El Primero revivals all brought Zenith back into focus. Balanced design, better case proportions, still bold, but finally wearable. And here's where the Zenith separates themselves from the pack. They make watches that are fun. They make watches that artists would actually wear because they collaborate with artists. I'm talking about stuff like their 3 editions of the Philippe Pantone Defy 21, Kinetic Rainbow inspired by glitch art and geometry. I mean, all 3 editions are absolute bangers. If you haven't seen them, go check it out. They are just what a fun watch is supposed to be. And the Time to Reach Your Stars initiative, modern, purpose-built, and designed and meant to push the art of time forward. These aren't cookie-cutter partnerships. They're limited, unique, and radiate cool. If you care about watches as culture, as art, as expression, Zenith is one of the few brands doing that right now. And the wildest part, their name still doesn't carry the weight it deserves. They powered Rolex for over a decade. They're innovating in real mechanical tech. They're making design-forward pieces that stand out in any box. But because the average buyer doesn't know the name, they're still overlooked. Just means you can still buy these watches before the market catches up. You know what other brand has been doing that too? Number 3, we have Ulysse Nardin. You want a brand that's been breaking rules for over 175 years? Ulysse Nardin is it. Founded in 1846 in Le Locle, Switzerland, they earned their place in horological history, producing some of the most accurate marine chronometers in the world. So accurate by the early 1900s, more than 50 navies and global shipping companies relied on them for navigation. That precision DNA never left. But like many heritage brands, UN started losing momentum in the 2000s and hit a wall in the 2010s. Low visibility, dated design language, and a brand that didn't evolve with the times. The difference is, they didn't just dust off old designs and hope collectors would care. They went full-on disruptor. In 2001, they dropped the Freak. No crown, no hands, and a movement that is the Minute Hand. Initially polarizing and years ahead of its time, it's one of the most mechanically daring watches ever made. But it didn't move the needle for the brand overall, and it couldn't stop them from hitting that wall. They followed in 2019 with the Skeleton X. Modern skeleton architecture in true sport watch form. Built in titanium and forged carbon, finished in bold colors, and centered on a dramatic X bridge design. These aren't the pieces designed to blend in. They're built to stand out while retaining horological credibility. It wasn't the seismic disruption of the Freak, but it hit a broader audience and proved Ulysse Nardin could go back to bold while staying wearable. Full transparency. Not all of their limited editions hit, but lately the good ones, the Freak iterations, the Diver X models, the modern Skeleton Tourbillon, actually move and collectors are starting to pay attention again. From 2011 to 2022, Ulysse Nardin, along with Gerard Perregaux, was owned by the Kering Group, the same luxury giant behind Gucci, Balenciaga, and Bottega Veneta. On paper, it looked like a power move. In practice, it diluted both brands' horological focus. Too many SKUs, a scattered design language, and a lack of cohesive dealer strategy meant they drifted out of the core collector conversation. Then came 2022. Kering divested both brands, spinning them into independent ownership under leadership that actually lived and breathed watchmaking. That clean break was the catalyst for both to sharpen their product lines, double down on in-house watchmaking, and re-enter the market with clearer and bolder identities. So these were 3 watch brands that I see making a big comeback right now in the industry. Let me know in the comments down below which other companies you think are making a comeback. And call or text me via the number in the description or pinned comment, and I'll get the best deal for you done. I'm Christian Brune. This is The Art of Time. Thank you for watching.